Hello, everyone. This is White Wolf. We are going to be going live, and I wanted to do this quick message real quick, and I'm going to take my time with this one because I want people to understand that their destiny awaits them, whether they feel like it or not, rather they feel like they're lost, rather they feel like this month has kind of kicked their ass in a sense. But it's just understanding that things change and things shift, and everything happens within divine timing, and everything works itself out when it really needs to, and what is meant for you, and what you're supposed to be reflected, and what you're supposed to experience. And to be more present with awareness and being understanding that life will always continue to go through these different rungs, these different stages, these different catalysts, and these different experiences. And the way to generate an experience upon that is to choose to shift no matter what, is to choose to change, is to do the things that you know that you need to do, even though that a lot of people will think that you're crazy doing those things, making different strides, being very ambitious, being very rebellious, making very distinct choices about what you want to become and what you want to do within your existence and how you want to represent your divine expression and your divine guidance and that intuition that flows through you as a way of channeling your divinity and knowing that it's really happening and that it is changing for you. And sometimes manifestation does take time, and sometimes it does require patience, and sometimes it does require a lot of us to make very distinct choices within our own life, within our own routines, in the way that we manifest, in the way that we meditate upon the I Am Presence. So giving ourselves that distinction that our destiny awaits us and that our gifting is generally what makes us really see that it's worth millions and millions and millions of light bodies, of codes, of frequencies. And prosperity is sometimes a state of mind. And sometimes health and wellness is the ability to say that you are beautiful and to really love yourself and to care about who you are. And it's okay to go along the journey and process and integrate and be tired and, kind of feel like you're finding things out and trying to figure things out. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think the ability to be humble in that aspect and to see yourself encompassed in a different light altogether is the ability to kind of humble yourself, to have a maturation of the soul, and to see that everything is just being created here and now and is choosing to embrace that shift inside of ourselves. Go by your heart's desire at the end of the day, because the tenderness of your own heart, the vulnerability that you have in yourself, the ability to give yourself that self-care and that self-love and that preservation of who you want to be in that moment, and channeling from that existence of the higher self, is giving yourself the ability to see that everything is always going to work itself out in divine timing, in the divine process, and going through the initiations and the different forms of existences that we're supposed to evaluate and connect into. A lot of us don't understand that the things that we've already manifested are really great and divine and amazing. So take into account of who you were maybe a year ago or 2 years ago or 20 years ago, and look at the person that you are now, and allow yourself to just get back to that state of connection and get back on the trail of enlightenment, and know that this is the sacred timeline of enlightenment, because there is a flame and a passion of creativity and initiation and appearing as that divine expression. So intuition sometimes needs to be investigated. As people who are seekers, as people who are wanting to seek enlightenment in a sense, we have to conduct many different experiments, many different theories, and many different wavelengths and trials and errors, and many different things that we do along the path that help us change and grow and morph into the person that we're supposed to become. And it's helping us connect into the very fact that all of us are just growing within ascension, and all of us are really understanding who we need to become in this moment. And every body is genetically, metaphysically made with beauty and uniqueness. And nobody really understands that sometimes, is that sometimes your message, you showing up, is the ability to show up for another person. Rather you're posting videos, rather you're having a meditation group, or rather you are just showing up for a friend in some way of service. So there's a lot of things that we do that we don't realize that is very beautiful and wondrous. And some of us need to really understand that everything in our reality is pushing us to really transform within the process, within the shift, and being able to have acceptance towards that. So it's the ability to see that everything in our reality is just waiting for us to change. Something to convict us, something to break us, something to help us develop that sense of the I am presence within ourselves, and giving ourselves the ability to really connect into the divinity that we want to become in that moment. So it helps us embrace the metaphysical, the non-physical, that non-dual awareness, and helps us be present towards the current reality that we're encompassed in. So give yourself that time to see that everything is happening within the divine orchestration, within that all-encompassing, that omnipresence that wants to become you simultaneously. It's just the ability to visualize it, to dream about it, to make it your priority, to see that everything is happening for you, and it's happening because of you, as the appearance of light. So sometimes people don't understand why their life is going in many different directions, or you're getting pulled in many different directions. People don't understand why you're going along the path and you have setbacks, or you have a breakup, or you lose a lot of jobs and things of that nature. Because all of us have to go through those things to embrace the things that are meant for us. And sometimes we can't keep playing within stale realities and stale connections, because we won't be able to change, and we won't be able to really experience another different dimension of our own reality. So it gives us the ability to really vocalize what we want, to project what we want, but also to not keep perpetuating the same false self that we've been living. So we're eradicating that false self. We're eliminating that. We're severing the tie of that and giving ourselves that distinction of who we want to be in that moment. And some of you don't know who you are, and I don't even know myself sometimes. But when we're in that divine state of that guided meditative state, it's almost like, hi, there you are. It's nice to see you again, right? So reconnect and have self-remembrance towards yourself. Have the divine orchestrate your life. You don't have to do it on your own. And yes, we are alone, but we are the extension of Source energy. We are the reflection of Source. We are everything that is generated and created within the infinite realm of possibilities. And it's just seizing the moment and not squandering it. If we just seize the moment in every single moment and not squander it, and not think that it's not real, or that it's never going to happen, even though that's already happened, and seeing that your life is exactly where it needs to be within this exact moment. And if you see that your life is exactly where it needs to be and where you're going, don't feel like you have to feel that it's the ability to open up to it. It's the ability to connect into it. It will be the ability to see yourself encompassed in a different light. So it's now, who are you? What do you want? How do you want to connect to your divinity and your presence? And be here and have fun and have imagination and see that life is not meant to be endured. It's meant to be enjoyed. Gratitude and appreciation will flow to you and connect to you. So sometimes it's the ability to not rush things. And it's the ability to not force things either. And it's the ability to just take a step back and breathe for a second and totally see if this is the way to go about something. Now, not all of us are perfect, and we're not going to handle certain situations. So it's the ability to see what is foundational. What is the current foundation that you're in, and how can you go from there? You have to work with what Source gave you. I don't care what anybody says if they think this is a simplistic message. Be rebellious to the very fact that you have what you have because you're divine. You're infinitesimally connected to Source. So there's many different outcomes. There's many different possibilities. There's many different timelines. And the journey is not over. The journey never ends. And sometimes a lot of us feel, because something is not happening right here and now, that it's a falsehood or that it's not a truth. But it actually is a truth. And sometimes it's kind of seeing what you have done in the past and not doing that. It's doing the exact opposite of what you've been doing. So, a lot of us will see people really show their true colors within this reality. So some of you will go through this reality not understanding how your life was made or existing or created because you accepted it. And because you accepted it, you chose to live through the progression of your own life. And seeing that life is not made up for you, you are what is making up life as you go. So you have to fake it until you make it. The prophecy is to prophesy exactly what you want. So, when you feel that rush, when you feel that intensity of every part of yourself being awakened, being cleansed, being connected, then you'll see that everything in your life is trying to push you into a deeper state of connection, grace, anointing. So, some of us don't understand that we're still healing and processing, cleansing past lifetime regressions, going through the motions, and going through different patterns within our emotional states. So a lot of us think that just because we have this emotion, that we have to be addicted to this emotion. And we don't have to be addicted to that emotion. So, but you are feeling your intense emotions along the path. So, feel them if you need to. If you need to go through that emotion, but if it's not serving you, then let go of it. It's just the ability to let go of the things that we have no control over. And if we keep feeling like we have to control it, if we feel like we have to produce something else or do all these other things to produce another outcome, then we are running from the state and operating from the state of control. And that never brings us happiness, that never brings us joy, that never brings us a great connection or a consistent connection. When we're operating from the state of control, manipulation, deception. We don't have to deceive ourselves anymore. We don't have to manipulate things anymore. We are an illusion that's manipulating the current reality into be the formlessness that it needs to become. But other than that, when we let go of the self-deprecation of the ego, and we embrace the very fact that we can change, we can make a difference, it's seeing that there can be a difference made within your own reality. And those odds are pretty damn good. A lot of people think like, oh, there's so many differences in my life, there's so many problem, opposition, hurdles. Trust me, I felt like that before. And when you feel like that, how do you feel, in a sense? What is the first feeling that arises? Dread. It comes in, it swoops in, and sometimes the ability to ignore it, the ability to completely just say, nope, I'm going to open up, I'm going to be connected, I'm going to be my true state of being. Now, I'm not talking about spiritual bypassing. Bypassing means that you're going to go about everything with an attitude, with arrogance and pride, and just bulldoze everybody with your problems. But the ability to kind of sever the tie of it, to know that it's not you, it's just a random occurrence that is a cheap version of you. So it could mean that how I'm describing this is that the ego tries to swoop in and tries to sweep you off of your feet in a negative sense. So instead of trust falling with the ego, just allow yourself to have faith that the divine is going to catch you. That's why whenever they have that term of expression within the Bible, like Jesus has me in the palm of his hand, well, the divine always has you in the palm of your hand. We just don't realize it because we give into our humanity. We give into our vanity and our lust and our disconnection and our discontent towards disdain and disrespect towards our vibration. But now, if you have gratitude, if you appreciate your vibration, if you appreciate your meditative state, and you want to hold on to your meditative state and your presence and your mindfulness. Because a lot of times when people talk about being present or mindful, they're like, oh, I'm staring at this camera doing this video right now. Well, that's not mindfulness at all. I'm not even here right now. And when I say that I'm not even here, it's just the presence and the channel of my higher self and source and my guides being reflected as I'm conducting this video here. So it gives us the ability to give us distinction. So if we have distinction, we have something to go on. And if we have something to go on, then we have something to follow. And then we have follow through. Sometimes you may not have a great start. I don't believe we always have a great start. But God damn it, you can follow through. I promise you. You can follow through on whatever it is. It doesn't mean that you won't have a good start or a good middle. It just means that you'll follow through and regain your presence and regain that alignment and find that connection within oneself to be preserved, to be connected, to connect back into your state of divinity. If you are able to do that, you're pretty fucking awesome. I gotta say that. You're pretty fucking cool. And I was getting this message about, being rebellious. Don't be rebellious in a way that's childish. Be rebellious in a way that is very mature. There is a mature way to be rebellious. It means don't sell yourself short. Don't feel like you're in a box. Don't feel like God has forgotten about you. It just means that we have forgotten about ourselves. So a lot of us feel like that, I'm waiting on God. Sometimes Source is waiting on us to become the I Am Presence, to be connected in that way, to be of a genuine source of energy and a deep state of connection. So yeah, thank you. This is one of my new favorite shirts. I love this shirt so much. I've worn it like 6 times already. I've probably worn it too much. And it's just being casual with yourself. You don't have to put yourself with so many expectations or so many pedestals or so many ultimatums that you have to meet. And I think that's what we do to ourselves a lot of the time. And just because you went through the same situation 1,000 times doesn't mean that you can't change how you go through that certain situation. That's another thing that generates ripple effects within our realities, that shifts timelines, that generates new experiences, is that we know that everything that's ever happened within reality has already happened. And it shows us that once we just make that subtle change within that experience, it just ultimately just changes and it turns into something else. And then it feels like there's this sudden epiphany that dawns on us, and it shows us like, wow, reality can change. That I am transcending the human conditioning. That I am going along the path. And I'm experiencing all the things that I need to experience. And I think that's what's beautiful about life as a whole, is that you will experience, be reflected, everything that you do need to be reflected. And there's nothing wrong with that, There's nothing wrong with experiencing the things that you need to experience. And one of the things that I want to do is to not rush anything, not to rush my lives or not to rush my meditations or, rush my manifestations anymore. I just want to have fun at this point. Because I've done it for 4 years and done all these things and manifested clients and done my gifting, and anymore I'm just pretty much casual. I'm pretty much Switzerland towards everything, and I can see things from many different perspectives. And we see that our whole world thrives on promoting fear, promoting problems, promoting all these things that don't give us life. And then once you start to reverberate something else, right? You start to be positive, be empowering, motivating, inspiring. But this collective still thrives on fear-mongering, projection, thinking, conceptualizing everything, and making everything an issue, right? So the whole entire collective, we're still thriving on that. And that's why I don't make videos about like the full moon. I don't want to project negativity, and I don't want to project the sense of disconnection. I want to promote the sense of connection. That's always been my thing. That's always been priority for me. And it's just the ability to recognize who you've always been, who you are, what you're meant to be, what you're meant to do when you grow up. Even though men, we don't really grow up, we just grow old. Hence the Deadpool shirt. But that's the thing, is that I don't necessarily want to grow up. I just want to be laughing, live in gratitude, find something to enjoy, find something to connect to, be simplistic in my endeavors, in my search, my journey. I've come to that realization the other night, is that sometimes we focus on the things that make us angry most of the time instead of the things that made us joyful and connected and inspirative. So in this moment, who are you? What do you want to be? It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if you want to live your life like it's the fucking 1950s. I don't care if you want to wear a knight in shining armor. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. But what matters is that you live the way that you want to live. And it's just like, yeah, I want to wear a hat every day. That's what I love to fucking do, because it's hot as hell out here. But it's like, I express myself how I want to express myself because I feel like that's authentic, that's real, that's raw. That's what helps you connect with people. And it's not trying to connect with people by being a certain way or talking a certain way or generating your messages in a certain way, but it's just giving the message with the fire and the power and the glory that's inside of yourself that helps you connect with others. I think at the end of the day, that's what's important, is that we all connect in the way that we're supposed to. So we're going to do some healing energy. So if you want to be a part of this live, thank you guys so much. I have new videos that you can look at that I posted. I have a new video about the live readings that I do on my channel. Also have a new private session special that I'm doing. You can check out that video. And we're going to do some healing energy for our destiny awaiting for us and connecting into our preservation of source energy and connecting to the Shekinah glory of God's source energy and the great I am. So feel free to take part in this energetic healing and connecting with me. We are going to be connecting into our divinity, our preservation, our concentration of becoming source energy manifested in this human form, and becoming the Shekinah glory here and now. Archangels, the love and light, is one that cleanses us of our auric field, tapping into God's source energy and the great I am, diving deep into Middle Mother Gaia Earth. Use visualization as a way of initiation, as a way of generating the appearance of source, the connection of source, and the realization of God's source energy and the great I am, and being connected into the preservation of mind, body, and spirit, into the imagination of visualization, of connecting into your electromagnetic kinetic source energy, and being able to change the polarities of your current reality and your current connection. And in this moment, we're going to ground even deeper and activate all of our chakras, and being able to release emotionally, but also connect into the future timelines that we're supposed to be a part of. Connect into every aspect of the I am presence, connect into the consciousness that is you, and become the grounded source of connection within the preservation of source energy being fully realized. Integrate, process, have fun, be joyful, and imagine along the path, and know that it's a part of something greater than you can see with the naked eye. Be able to preserve the God within. Be able to be the fountain of youth. Be able to connect whenever you need to connect, and just remember who you are. Remember that you are the illusion. Remember that you are formlessness, you are emptiness, you are the connection of source energy being fully realized, and just figuring out the prophecy that you're on and being able to fulfill that prophecy. Connecting into the Kundalini energy, quick release and rejuvenation. And just feeling the presence of love, of divinity, of light, and of connection. Know yourself in this moment. Know who you are. Know what you want. And know what you want to be connected to. Remember that connection you used to be. Even remember the connection that you used to have, even as a small child. The Spirit of God was still present within you. It was still present within you there, and it's still present with you now. It's that direct subtlety of that presence of mind, body, and spirit. That anything and everything is here for us all to let go, to fully encompass this connection, this love, this light, this ability to come back into balance with your true state of being. And just feel into the presence of being here. Feel the connection that you are. And see that this is all that you have to do. You just have to snap into it. You just have to come into it, transform into it, and just be it. Higher, further, faster. Live, love, and laugh. Connect and disconnect. And get plugged in to the motherboard of creation. The vortex of creation. And just feel as if nothing is you. Just feel in this moment that nothing is you. But I am Christ consciousness. That's it. Just be here with your awareness. Be the seer, be the doer. Know yourself in this moment, and you'll forever be changed within this transmission. Take one last deep breath. Exhale. And when I snap my fingers, you'll come back to. You'll have a greater sense of clarity. You'll know who you are, and you'll become the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom, which is God manifested in the human form, and so it is. So, that was the healing energy for today. Thank you guys for connecting with it. Feel free to book private sessions, 30 minutes for $50, 45 minutes for $85 for psychic readings, healings, activations. Readings around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern, I'll be doing readings. And also I have a video about if you want a lengthy reading on there, I have a new video that you can check out. Follow me on TikTok. White Wolf, the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom on YouTube. And just remember that your destiny awaits you, whether you know it or not. It's here, it's present. We all have a mission. We all have something to seek, something to investigate, and something to transcend within our current conditioning. So, thank you guys. God bless. Namaste. It's always an honor and pleasure to serve you in any capacity that I can. So thank you. Namaste. God bless.